Good afternoon and welcome to Fast Horses Today. Today is Thursday. It is January 23rd. It's the start of the race week over at Santa Anita. So it looks like Santa Anita is going to have a 4-day race week this week. And I don't know if they'll be doing that the next few weeks, but we'll start off with today here, Thursday. I'm going to skip over the first few races, and I'm going to go with the fifth race here with a late pick 5. And I do have a win bet later on in this card as well. So let's go over to the fifth race. Fifth race is a maiden special weight. It's a Calbred maiden special weight for 3-year-olds. And these are horses running a mile on the grass. This has approximate post time, 2:30 Pacific, so 4:30 here in the Central Time Zone. And here in the fifth race, I've got 2 horses I'm going to put in here. I'm going to put first the 5, who is How About Pavel? And this is Doug O'Neill, Redham Racing, Juan Hernandez. Now, we've seen Redham Racing seemed to have a pretty good weekend last weekend, and so did Doug O'Neill. So, the beat might go on here. So, How About Pavel has been running in special weights, been knocking around in this level here. What I like about this horse today is that this horse does have the experience of running mile races on the grass, where some of these others will be trying it for the first time. So it might give this horse a bit of an advantage. 4-1, Juan Hernandez. Hernandez has ridden this horse twice before and ridden this horse well, so this horse certainly has a shot here at 4-1. Then I'm going to put the 8, who is Maria Tallchief, for Phil D'Amato, Kyle Frey. This horse has run 2 nice races. She's got 2 sprints under her belt. First time out was over at Del Mar on a 5 furlong grass race. She ran with a couple nice horses in Freya and Me So Fancy. And we just saw Me So Fancy run last week. Me So Fancy came back to win her next race and then ran pretty well in the stakes race on Cal Cup Day. So Maria Tallchief ran a nice race there, came back, ended up getting a run on the Santa Anita turf course. It was a 6 furlong sprint going up against Me So Fancy. She came second to her. And as I mentioned, Me So Fancy looks pretty nice. She ran a nice race, with winner her next out. So this horse is 2-1, Maria Tallchief. We're going to put the 5 and the 8 to get this pick 5 started. All right, let's move over to the 6th race of the day. 6th race is 5.5 on the dirt. These are California maiden claimers. And these are fillies, 3-year-old fillies. I've got 2 horses I'm going to put in. I know there's a big favorite here in the program we're going to get to momentarily. I'm going to put the 2, Tapatia Leah, for Steve Miotti. This horse is 1 start under her belt. She ended up running in that Me So Fancy Maria Tallchief race and, had its rough start and just kind of took her out of there. So she's dropping in class here, changing surfaces. There shouldn't be any problem with this horse running on the dirt. She's 4-1 today. Aguilar gets the call from Miotti, 4-1. We'll take a shot here in a field that is very, very lightly talented. Then we're going to go to the 8 horse, who is 4-5 in the program for Jeff Mullins, Juan Hernandez. That's Spotted Haze. Now this horse, 4-5 in the program coming off works. Apparently the horse must be showing something in the mornings, but here's my question. If the horse is showing something in the mornings, then why is she running in for a 50,000 tag? So that's why I'm putting 2 horses in. I think that should probably do it. The 2 and the 8 here in the 6th race. All right, let's move over to the next race of the day. Next race being the 7th. This is a second level allowance. They're running down the hill today. So this is a nice allowance race here for fillies and mares. They are 4-year-olds and up. Tough race. I don't have a strong opinion. I'm going to put 4 horses in here. I'm going to put the 1 for Jeff Mullins. Mullins got a couple here. I'm going to put them both in. I'm going to put the 1 for Mullins and Hector Barrios. That's Shangji. And this horse was a fairly new entry into the Mullins barn. Looks like Mullins got this horse back in the Del Mar Fall Meet, after she ran one time. This horse had come from the east and, shows some nice races. Ran up against Tupi, who we've seen Tupi run, a couple nice races down the hill. So, this horse ran pretty even with Tupi. This horse, 8-1, we'll put her in. We're going to put the 2, who is Queen Maxima, also for Jeff Mullins, I mentioned. This horse has shown some nice races, comes off a win here at Santa Anita back in late December. That's on the flat grass course at 6 furlongs. This horse also ran with Tupi, ran in the Unzip Me. So, she ran a nice race with Tupi. And like I said, we've seen Tupi win a couple nice races down the hill. So she's a quality filly. We will put Queen Maxima, that's 7-5 favorite. Going to put the 3, who is Royal Charter, for Leonard Powell and Diego Herrera. Now, this horse has been running, with some nice horses in the California turf division, Philly turf division too. She's run some even races, has run longer, so she's shortening up, going down the hill. As we've seen, over many years, it's not a bad thing when you come out of the 2-turn races and shorten up to a 6.5 down the hill. She's run with a couple nice horses in Hang the Moon, who's a multiple stakes winner now. She ran a nice race with her, and she also ran with Yerwan there, who's also has won a couple times as a nice turf horse here in California. So that's Royal Charter 9-2, Diego Herrera. I feel this horse has a shot here. Then I'm going to finally put the 5, who is Normandy Queen from Mark Glatt, Victor Espinoza. Now this horse is interesting, seeing that this is going to be her first start on the grass. She has 3 races under her belt, 2 wins out of those 3, but those are all on the dirt, and those 2 coming at a mile on the dirt. Both of them at Del Mar. So, she broke her maiden. She ran with Hope Road, who we've seen. Hope Road's just a monster, and a lot of the horses who have run with Hope Road have come back to be live, including Normandy Queen. She ended up going a mile at Del Mar, breaking her maiden stylishly, and then ended up running another mile race at Del Mar in the dirt, running in the first level allowance and winning there. So this is her next start here. They're trying her on the turf. Now my question, I don't know, if Mark Glatt was pointing for this, or maybe, turf races didn't fill. It's hard to tell nowadays out there in California. But she's 3-1. Victor Espinoza takes the call, so we'll put her in there. So that's the 1, 2, 3, and 5. All right, now let's move over to the next race, being the 8th race. The 8th race is 6 furlongs on the dirt. This is a first level allowance race there for California bred fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. And I'm going to put 2 horses in this race to try to get this pick 5 moved along. I'm going against the favorite, but it's not like it's some, big stand I'm taking, because there's another horse that's a short price and I'm going to put in. So I'm going to go against the favorite, being Nene Diamond. That's the 2 horse. Not putting that horse in today. I don't like her last race. I think she, we'll see. Just going to go against her and hope all goes well here. But I'm going to put the 3, who is Quick Kate for Craig Lewis. Ayuso takes the call. Now, this horse has done most of her good work, or all of her good work on the turf. So, there looks like they're probably trying to take advantage of the condition that she's able to run on dirt at this first level allowance. She shows 1 race on dirt back at Santa Anita. That was last spring. And, she didn't run a bad race. It was in a stakes race. She ran up against Roberto's Love and Safa. So those 2, horses are nice Calbreds, and just thought she ran an even race here. So they're trying her back on the dirt here. We'll see if maybe she makes a run. That's Quick Kate with Ayuso on board at 4-1. Then I'm going to put the 5 horse, who is Big Pop, for Mark Glatt. Now Glatt seems to have a couple live ones here today. This one, being 7-5, certainly no secret here. Looks like Kazushi Kimura's on the horse, and I think Kimura's back riding today. He got a little dinged up last week. On a horse in the gate, I believe, and we hadn't seen him all weekend, but it looks like he's back now. Kimura rode this horse last time. This horse had come off a long layoff. First time we saw her was back in February of last year. She won her first start, which I always am impressed with horses that can win their first start. I feel like it's a nice quality they have, and it's something to definitely take notice of. So something obviously went amiss, because we hadn't seen her in about 10 months after that win. She showed up on opening day at Santa Anita, and I thought she ran a really nice race, coming 3rd to Barbera and Stop Digging. It just looked like a really nice race first time out after a long layoff. Improved speed figure, ran nicely, should run well off that. Glatt has a pretty good record. Second time off a layoff, looks pretty good. So 7-5, certainly no secret there. So I'm in the pick 5, I'm going to put the 3 Quick Kate and the 5 Big Pop. All right, now let's move over to the next race of the day, being the final race of the day. This is the 9th race. Approximate post time about 4:30 Pacific, so 6:30 here Central. This is a 6 furlong event on the turf, on the flat grass. Starter allowance, where they do the horses who have run for 50 or less, or if you want to put your horse in, you're going to put the horse in for 50. So it's one of those starter combo type of conditions here. I've got 3 horses I'm going to put in, and I'm going to make a win bet here as well. I'm going to put the 2, who is Schwarzmeyer, for John Sadler, and he puts Abel Lascano. Now these guys have been trying, for a few weeks now. Sadler's really come out of the gate slow, but it's Sadler. He's gonna have to pick up at some point here. I'm gonna make a win bet on Schwarzmeyer. This horse is 6-1 here in the program. We'll take every bit of that. This horse has just run with some better horses. I mean, he ended up beating Miramati back at Del Mar in the summertime last summer, and Miramati was one of those big Bob Baffert purchases who seems to have figured it all out lately and has won a few in a row and run really nicely. But Schwarzmeyer did take care of Miramati on the square that day back in July. He followed up with a couple allowance rate runs, running up against some nice horses as well in Red Flag and Pilot Commander. And, those two horses probably lead the sprint division in Southern California at this point. That's presuming Trojan Vron is not going to run this year or maybe run later this year. But you'll probably see some nice things out of Red Flag and Pilot Commander. He ran with those. So he's dropping in class here. They're putting him on the turf. Those two changes should work out well. I'm wondering if maybe the goal is get this horse out and go and, try to last the 6 furlongs, as we see that happens on these flat grass courses. So I'm going to bet Schwarzmeyer to win. That's the 2 horse at 6-1. For pick 5 purposes, I'm also going to put the 3 horse who is Handsome Ticket for Mark Glatt. Mentioned Glatt does have some live horses today. Diego Herrera takes a call here. Now, Herrera's ridden this horse 3 times in his last 3 starts with a win in a couple seconds. So this horse has shown himself pretty well on the grass and at Santa Anita with a couple second-place finishes at this level. So this horse is certainly live, but you got to wonder, in these starter allowance conditions, some of these horses just, become not also-rans because they hit the board, but they just don't win too often. So maybe Handsome Ticket is developing into that horse, with seconditis or just hit the board but not winning. But I'll put him in for the pick 5 purposes. And then finally, I'm going to put the 6 horse, who is Bolt Supremacy for Richard Baltus and Kazushi Kimura on the horse. Now, this horse, also has done some nice work on the turf. Does have his lone win at Santa Anita on the turf, but is 1 for 7. So 7-2 here. Certainly fits in this race, having run with some better horses on the turf. But, they put this horse in a starter allowance in this type of level over at Del Mar back in November, and the horse ended up losing on the wire. So certainly this level looks like, he fits this level at 7-2. We'll put Bolt Supremacy. That's the 2, 3, and the 6. All right, now let's recap the day and recap the tickets. Okay, so for Santa Anita here, to recap the day, recap the tickets, we've got a pick 5 ticket that starts in the 5th race. Going to go with the 5-8, with 2-8, with 1-2-3-5, with 3-5, with 2-3-6 in the 9th race, and a win bet on the 2 horse in the 9th race, 2 horse being Schwarzmeyer. So that pick 5 ticket costs $48 today. So if you see fit, to play as is, you do that. If you want to add or subtract, you can do that. Play the pick 3s within it or play the pick 4 within it. Whatever you decide to do, I wish you the best of luck today. And let's wish the folks over at Santa Anita a great, safe day of racing. And also, let's not forget, there's still a lot of struggle going on there in Southern California. Let's pray for those in Southern California dealing with these wildfires. So best wishes to you all. So as always, I thank you so much for watching Fast Horses today. Please do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button if you don't mind. It doesn't cost you anything, just puts you on the feed so new content gets served up to you. Like, dislike, make comments. I promise to respond to everything. Let's make it a great day over at Santa Anita, the great race place. And good luck to you. Thank you for watching Fast Horses today. We'll be back this weekend with more coverage from Santa Anita.